good morning. Well, actually, I don't know what time it is for you right now, but I'm going to say good morning anyway because that's what we're talking about today. Morning sentences. The things we actually say when we wake up, when we're stumbling around the kitchen, when we're trying to get ourselves together for the day. And honestly, this is one of my favorite topics because it's so real, you know? It's not fancy English. It's not textbook stuff. It's just the actual words that come out of our mouths when we're half asleep and trying to function like normal human beings. So here's the thing. I've been teaching English for years now, and one of the biggest gaps I see is between what people learn in books and what people actually say in real life. Like, you can study all the grammar rules you want, you can memorize vocabulary lists until your brain hurts, but then you get to an English-speaking country, and someone says something super simple to you in the morning, and you're just standing there like, wait, what? Because nobody taught you that stuff. Nobody taught you the little everyday phrases that native speakers use without even thinking about it. And mornings are especially tricky because, let's be honest, most of us are not our best selves in the morning. We're tired, we're groggy, we haven't had our coffee yet. So the language we use is even more casual, even more relaxed, even more filled with little shortcuts and expressions that you won't find in a typical English textbook. But that's exactly why we need to talk about it, right? Because if you want to sound natural, if you want to really connect with English speakers, you need to know this stuff. Okay, so let me paint a picture for you. It's morning, your alarm goes off. What's the very first thing you might say? And I'm not talking about what you think you should say. I'm talking about what actually comes out of your mouth. For a lot of people, it's something like, oh man, or already, or maybe just 5 more minutes. These aren't complete sentences. They're not grammatically perfect, but they're real. They're what people actually say. So let's start there. 5 more minutes. This is such a common thing to say, or even just to think right when that alarm goes off. You're not ready to wake up. You want to stay in bed just a little bit longer. 5 more minutes. Sometimes people say it out loud, sometimes they just mumble it to themselves. And if you have a partner or someone you live with, they might hear you say this and they might respond with something like, you said that 10 minutes ago, or come on, we need to get up. That's real conversation happening right there. Another really common morning expression is I'm so tired. Super simple, right? But think about how often you actually say this. You wake up, you're exhausted, and you just kind of announce it to the world. I'm so tired. Or maybe you say, I'm exhausted, or I didn't sleep well, or I could sleep for another 3 hours. These are all variations of the same basic idea, but they're the kinds of things that come up in real morning conversations all the time. Now, let's talk about actually getting out of bed. This is where things get interesting because there are so many little phrases we use during this process. Like, you might say to yourself, okay, time to get up, or all right, let's do this, or here we go. These are little pep talks we give ourselves, you know? Little motivational phrases to help us actually leave the comfort of our beds. And they're so natural, so automatic, that native speakers don't even realize they're doing it most of the time. If you live with other people, morning conversations are a whole thing. You might walk into the kitchen and say morning or good morning or just hey. And the other person might respond the same way. Morning. Hey, how'd you sleep? That's a really common question, by the way. How'd you sleep? It's a shortened version of how did you sleep, and it's just a nice, casual way to start a conversation in the morning. You might answer with something like, pretty good, or not great, or I was up half the night. All of these are natural responses. And then there's the coffee situation. Oh my goodness, coffee is such a big part of morning conversations for so many people. You might say, I need coffee, or I can't function without coffee, or where's the coffee? If you're making coffee for someone else, you might ask, want some coffee? Or do you want me to make you a cup? And they might say, yes please, or that would be amazing, or I'll get it, thanks though. These are all super common, super natural exchanges. Let's talk about coffee orders for a second, because even if you're just making coffee at home, there's a whole vocabulary around it. How do you take your coffee? That's the question, right? And you might say black, which means no milk, no sugar, nothing added. Or you might say, with cream and sugar, or just cream, or just sugar. Some people say, a little milk, or lots of milk, or I like it sweet. All of these are natural ways to describe how you like your coffee. And if you're at a coffee shop, which is a whole other morning scenario, you might order by saying, can I get a medium coffee? Or I'll have a large latte or just a small black coffee, please. The word just is really common in orders, by the way. It makes things sound more casual and polite. Just a small coffee. Just a regular drip coffee. Just the usual. That last one, just the usual, is what you might say if you go to the same coffee shop all the time and they know your order. Okay, back to the house. Morning routines. We all have them, right? And there are so many little things we say during these routines. Like, if you're in the bathroom getting ready, you might look in the mirror and say something to yourself. Maybe, I look terrible, or I need to fix my hair, or why do I have bags under my eyes? These are the kinds of honest, sometimes funny things people say to themselves when no one else is listening. Or maybe you're calling out to someone else in the house. Where's my hairbrush? Have you seen my phone? Did you use all the hot water? These questions are so typical of morning conversations. Everyone's trying to get ready, everyone's looking for their stuff, everyone's a little bit rushed and a little bit grumpy. It's just how mornings are. Speaking of being rushed, let's talk about time. Mornings are often about checking the time and reacting to it. You might look at the clock and say, oh no, is it really 7:30 already? Or shoot, I'm running late, or we need to leave in 10 minutes. The word shoot, by the way, is a mild way to express frustration or surprise. It's like a softer version of a curse word. So when you're running late and you want to express that feeling without actually cursing, you might say shoot, or oh shoot, or aw shoot. Another time-related phrase is I'm running behind, which means you're late or not on schedule. I'm running behind today. I got up late and now I'm running behind. It's just a really common way to explain why you're rushed or why you might not be ready on time. And then there are the things we say when we're trying to hurry other people along. Come on, we need to go, or hurry up, we're going to be late, or are you almost ready? If you have kids, you know these phrases really well. You're probably saying them every single morning. Come on, get your shoes on. Hurry. Up, the bus is coming. Did you brush your teeth? Put your backpack by the door. It's like a constant stream of instructions and reminders. Now let's talk about breakfast, because that's a big part of the morning for a lot of people. Breakfast conversation is interesting because it's usually pretty simple and practical. What do you want for breakfast? That's the basic question. And you might answer with, I don't know, what do we have? Or maybe just cereal, or I'll just grab something quick. The phrase just grab something quick is really common. It means you're going to eat something simple and fast because you don't have a lot of time. Or maybe someone offers to make you breakfast. Want me to make you some eggs? Should I put the coffee on? I can make toast if you want. These are all nice, helpful offers. And you might respond with, that's okay, I'll get it myself, or yes please, that would be great, or sure, thanks. All natural responses. If you're discussing what to eat, you might say things like, we're out of milk, or is there any bread left? Or do we have any yogurt? These are just practical questions about what food is available. And someone might respond with, I think so, check the fridge, or no, we need to go shopping, or there's some in the pantry. The pantry, by the way, is just a cupboard or closet where you keep food. It's a really common word in American English. Here's another super common morning scenario. Someone's looking for something and they can't find it. Where are my keys? Has anyone seen my wallet? I can't find my phone. These questions happen all the time. And other people in the house might help by saying, did you check your jacket? Maybe you left it in the car. I saw it on the counter earlier. Or sometimes, if they're tired of helping someone look for the same thing every day, they might say something a little more sarcastic like, where did you leave it last? Or you need to keep track of your stuff better. But that's real life, right? People get a little cranky in the mornings. Let's talk about compliments and comments people make in the morning. Like, if someone's dressed up or looking nice, you might say, you look nice today, or I like that shirt, or is that new? These are friendly, positive things to say. And the person might respond with, oh, thanks, or thanks, it is new actually, or this old thing. That last response, this old thing, is kind of a humble way to downplay the compliment. Like, oh, this shirt isn't special. I've had it forever, but it's a common response. On the flip side, if someone looks tired or not quite awake yet, you might comment on that too, but you have to be careful because you don't want to be rude. You might say, rough night? Or you look tired, everything okay? These show concern. But you wouldn't just say, wow, you look terrible, because that's mean. Although, to be honest, close friends or family members sometimes do say stuff like that to each other in a joking way. Like, you look like you got hit by a truck, but said with a smile, you know. It's all about the relationship and the tone. Weather talk is huge in morning conversations. Americans love to talk about the weather, and mornings are no exception. You might look outside and say, it's raining again, or looks like a nice day, or it's so cold out. And someone might respond with, I know, right? Or yeah, you'll need a jacket, or at least it's not snowing. Weather small talk is one of the easiest ways to start a conversation, and it happens constantly in the morning. If you're getting ready to leave the house, there's a whole set of phrases that come into play. All right, I'm heading out, or I'm leaving now, or I've got to go. These are ways to announce your departure. And other people might respond with, okay, have a good day, or see you later, or don't forget your lunch. That last one is a reminder, right? It's something you might say to someone who has a habit of forgetting things. And speaking of reminders, mornings are full of them. Don't forget we have that thing tonight. Remember to pick up milk on your way home. You need to call the dentist today. Did you send that email? These little reminders are such a normal part of morning conversations, especially between people who live together or work together. Let's talk about transportation for a minute. If you drive to work or school, you might say things like, I need to get gas today, or traffic's going to be bad, or I'm taking the back roads. If you take public transportation, you might say, I need to catch the 8:15 bus, or I hope the train's not delayed, or I'm going to miss my stop if I don't leave right now. All of these are super practical, everyday statements about getting from point A to point B. And if you're giving someone a ride, there's a whole conversation around that. Do you need a ride? Want me to drop you off? I can give you a lift if you're ready. A lift, by the way, is just another word for a ride. It's maybe a little more common in British English, but Americans use it too sometimes. And if someone offers you a ride, you might say, that would be great, thanks, or are you sure? I don't want to make you late, or no, it's okay, I'll walk. Now, let's get into some of the more specific morning phrases that are just really, really common. One of my favorites is I'm not a morning person. This is something people say to explain why they're grumpy or quiet or not very energetic in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so please don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. It's kind of funny, kind of honest, and totally relatable for a lot of people. The opposite would be, I'm a morning person, which means you actually like mornings and you have energy early in the day. Morning people are usually pretty cheerful when they wake up, and they might say things like, good morning, everyone, or isn't it a beautiful day? And the non-morning people are just like, please stop talking. But it's all in good fun. Another phrase you hear a lot is I need to wake up, or I'm still waking up. This is what you say when you're physically awake, but mentally you're still kind of in sleep mode. Someone might ask you a question and you're like, sorry, I'm still waking up, can you repeat that? It's a totally normal thing to say, and people understand it because everyone's been there. Here's a fun one. Rise and shine. This is something people say to wake someone else up, and it's usually said in a cheerful, sometimes annoyingly cheerful way. Like a parent might come into their kid's room and say, rise and shine, sleepyhead. Time to get up. It's a pretty old-fashioned phrase, but people still use it, especially in families. Wakey wakey is another one, and it's even more playful. Wakey wakey, time to get up. Sometimes people say the full version, which is wakey wakey, eggs and bakey, and it rhymes and it's silly but also kind of cute. You probably wouldn't say this to your boss, but you might say it to your kids or your partner if you're in a good mood. Let's talk about feelings and mood in the morning, because that comes up in conversation too. You might say, I'm in a good mood today, or I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, which is an expression that means you're grumpy for no real reason. I don't know why I'm so cranky, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It's not literal, obviously. It's just a way to explain a bad mood. Or you might say, I'm feeling good today, or I'm feeling off, which means something's not quite right, but you can't put your finger on it. I'm just feeling off this morning. I don't know what it is. These kinds of statements are really common in close relationships where people share how they're feeling. Now, let's get into some of the little functional phrases that happen during morning routines. Like, if you're in the bathroom and someone needs to get in, they might knock and say, "Are you almost done?" Or, "How much longer are you going to be?" And you might respond with, "Just a minute," or "I'll be out in a sec," or "Give me 5 more minutes." These are all ways to negotiate shared space in the morning when everyone's trying to get ready at the same time. If the bathroom's occupied and you really need to use it, you might say, "I really need to get in there," or "Can you hurry up, please?" Or if it's urgent, "I really have to go." That last one, "I really have to go," is a polite way of saying you need to use the bathroom urgently. It's something everyone understands, and people usually try to hurry when they hear it. Here's another scenario. You're getting dressed and you can't decide what to wear. What should I wear today? This is a question people ask themselves or ask others all the time. And if you're asking someone else, they might say, "What about that blue shirt?" Or "Just wear jeans, it's casual." Or "I don't know, whatever you want." That last response is pretty common when someone doesn't really have an opinion or doesn't want to make the decision for you. Temperature in the house is another morning topic. It's freezing in here, or it's too hot, or can we turn up the heat, or turn on the AC. These are practical comments about comfort, and someone might respond with, "I'll adjust the thermostat," or "Put on a sweater," or "I think it's fine." Everyone has different temperature preferences, so this kind of conversation happens a lot. Let's talk about phones and technology for a minute, because that's a huge part of modern mornings. Did my alarm go off? Where's my phone charger? My phone died overnight. I need to charge my phone. These are all super common morning statements. Phones are such an essential part of our daily lives that phone-related talk happens constantly. Or you might be checking your phone and reacting to what you see. "Oh, I got a text from Sarah," or "I have so many emails already," or "I need to respond to this message." These are just natural reactions to checking your notifications in the morning. Social media is part of this too. You might say, "I was scrolling through Instagram this morning," or "I saw on Facebook that," or "Did you see what so-and-so posted?" Social media talk is really normal in casual morning conversations, especially between friends or family members. Now let's talk about plans for the day. This is a really common topic in the morning. What are you doing today? That's the basic question. And you might answer with, "I have work," or "I have a few meetings," or "Not much, pretty quiet day." Or you might go into more detail. "I have to go to the dentist at 10, then I have a conference call at 2, and then I'm meeting Jane for dinner." That's a typical rundown of daily plans. If someone asks about your day and you don't have much going on, you might say, "Nothing special," or "Just the usual," or same old, same old." That last phrase, same old, means your day is going to be the same as always, nothing new or exciting. It's a casual, kind of lazy way to say your routine is predictable. You might also talk about things you need to do. "I need to go to the bank today," or "I have to pick up dry cleaning," or "Remind me to call mom later." These are little tasks and errands that come up in conversation. And if you're talking to someone you live with, you might be coordinating who's doing what. "Can you pick up the kids today?" Or "Are you going to the store later?" Or "I'll do that if you do this." It's all about logistics and planning. Let's talk about encouragement and good wishes, because those are a big part of morning conversations too. "Have a good day" is probably the most common one. You say it when someone's leaving the house. "Have a good day," or "Have a great day," or "Hope you have a good one." These are just nice, friendly ways to send someone off. You might also say, "Good luck today," if someone has something important happening. Like if they have a big presentation or a job interview or a test. "Good luck today, you'll do great." That's encouraging and supportive. Or you might say, "Drive safe," or be careful out there, especially if the weather's bad or traffic is usually rough. These show that you care about the person and want them to be safe. All right, let's get into some more specific situations. What if you're running late? We talked about this a little bit earlier, but let's go deeper. When you realize you're behind schedule, you might start saying things in a more urgent tone. Oh no, what time is it? I'm going to be late, I should have left 10 minutes ago. These are all expressions of panic or stress about time. And you might start rushing and saying things like, "Where are my shoes? I need to go right now. I don't have time for breakfast." These show that you're in a hurry and you're prioritizing getting out the door over everything else. If someone's trying to talk to you when you're rushing, you might say, "I can't talk right now, I'm late," or "Can we talk about this later?" Or "Text me." These are ways to politely cut off a conversation because you literally don't have time. Now let's talk about the opposite situation. What if you have extra time in the morning? Maybe you woke up early or you're ahead of schedule. You might say, "I actually have time to sit down for breakfast today," or "I'm ahead of schedule for once," or "This is nice, I'm not rushing for a change." These comments acknowledge that having extra time is unusual and pleasant. You might use that time to do something you normally can't do. "I think I'll read for a few minutes," or "I might take a longer shower," or "I can actually make a real breakfast instead of just grabbing a granola bar." These are little luxuries that feel special when you have time in the morning. Let's talk about roommates and family dynamics a bit more. Morning conversations in shared living spaces have their own flavor. If someone's making noise and waking you up, you might say, "Can you be a little quieter?" Or "I'm trying to sleep." Or if you're the one making noise, you might say, "Sorry, did I wake you?" These are just polite ways to navigate shared space. If someone used up something you needed, that can lead to a conversation. "Who finished the milk?" Or "There's no hot water left." Or "Did someone eat my yogurt?" These questions might sound annoyed because, well, it is annoying when you're planning on something and it's gone. The other person might say, "Sorry, I didn't realize that was yours," or "Oops, my bad, I'll buy more," or "I thought it was okay to use." And then you work it out. Chores and responsibilities come up in morning talks too. Did you take out the trash? Or the dishes are still in the sink? Or it's your turn to feed the dog? These are reminders about household tasks. And the other person might say, "I'll do it when I get home," or "Can you do it? I'm running late," or "Oh, I forgot, I'll do it right now." Let's talk about pets for a minute, because if you have pets, they're definitely part of your morning routine. You might talk to your pet in the morning, "Good morning, buddy," or "Did you sleep well?" or "Are you hungry?" A lot of people talk to their pets like they're talking to a person, even though the pet obviously doesn't understand all the words. And there are things you say about pet care. "I need to feed the dog," or "The cat's bowl is empty," or "Did you let the dog out?" These are practical statements about taking care of pets. If you forget to do something for your pet, someone might remind you. The dog needs to go out, or you forgot to feed the fish. Okay, let's talk about some phrases that are a little more colorful or expressive. "Up and at 'em" is one. It's kind of an old-fashioned way to say, "Let's get going, time to start the day." Up and at 'em, let's get this day started. It's enthusiastic and energetic, the kind of thing a morning person might say. "Let's get this show on the road" is another one, and it means let's get started, let's go. All right, everyone, let's get this show on the road. We need to leave in 5 minutes. It's a fun, casual way to mobilize people. Carpe diem is Latin for seize the day, and some people say this in the morning as a motivational thing. Carpe diem, let's make today count. It's maybe a little cheesy, but people do say it. Here's one that's more negative. Another day, another dollar. This is something people say when they're not super excited about going to work. It basically means, well, I have to work to make money, so here we go again. Another day, another dollar. It's kind of resigned and not very enthusiastic, but it's real and people definitely say it. Let's talk about breakfast foods specifically because there's vocabulary around that. If you're having cereal, you might say, "I'm just having a bowl of cereal," or I'm going to have some Cheerios. Cereal brands like Cheerios, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, these are all really common in the US. If you're making eggs, there are different ways to prepare them and you might specify. I'm making scrambled eggs, or do you want your eggs scrambled or fried? Or I like my eggs over easy, which means fried but with a runny yolk. Or sunny side up, which means fried on one side only so the yolk looks like a sun. Toast is really common. I'm making toast, or do you want toast? Or I'll just have toast with butter, or peanut butter on toast. These are all simple, normal ways to talk about toast. Bagels are another breakfast staple. I'm having a bagel, or do we have any bagels left? Or I'm going to toast a bagel. And then there's what you put on the bagel. Cream cheese is the classic. I'll have a bagel with cream cheese. Or you might say, with butter or with nothing. Oatmeal is common too. I'm making oatmeal, or I think I'll have some oatmeal. And you might specify how you like it, with brown sugar or with fruit or just plain. Smoothies are really popular. I'm making a smoothie, or do you want a smoothie? Or I'm throwing some fruit in the blender. These are all casual ways to talk about making a smoothie. And then there's the grab and go breakfast. I'm just grabbing a granola bar, or I'll eat something at work, or I'll pick up something on the way. These show that you're not having a sit-down breakfast at home, you're eating something quick or eating later. Let's talk about drinks besides coffee. Orange juice is really common at breakfast. Want some OJ? That's a casual way to say orange juice, or I'm pouring some juice, or is there any juice left? Tea is another option. I'm making tea, or do you want tea instead of coffee? Or I'll have herbal tea. There are lots of types of tea and people might specify. Green tea, black tea, chamomile, whatever they prefer. Water is simple, but people still talk about it. I'm just having water, or I need to drink more water in the mornings, or let me grab a glass of water. These are all natural statements. And then there are people who don't drink anything in the morning, or don't eat breakfast, and they might say, I don't usually eat breakfast, or I'm not hungry in the morning, or I usually just have coffee and that's it. Everyone has different morning routines and habits. All right, let's talk about some expressions of tiredness because this is a major morning theme. I'm so tired, we already covered that one. But there are lots of variations. I'm exhausted. I'm beat. I'm wiped out. I'm dead tired. These all mean basically the same thing, you're really tired. And some of them are more intense than others. I'm dead tired is pretty extreme. I could fall asleep standing up. That's an exaggeration that means you're so tired you feel like you could fall asleep anywhere, even standing. It's not literal, but it expresses just how exhausted you are. I can't keep my eyes open. That's another one. It means you're so tired that it's hard to stay awake. My eyes keep closing. I keep nodding off. These are all ways to express extreme tiredness. I didn't sleep a wink. This means you didn't sleep at all. A wink is like a tiny amount of sleep, so. If you didn't sleep a wink, you got zero sleep. I was up all night. I couldn't fall asleep. These explain why you're so tired. Now let's talk about feeling good in the morning, because some days you do wake up feeling energized. I feel great today, or I slept really well, or I'm ready to tackle the day. These are positive, upbeat statements. I'm feeling energized, or I'm pumped, or I'm ready to go. These show enthusiasm and energy. Let's do this is another one. It's motivational and energetic. I'm in a great mood, or I'm feeling really positive today, or today's going to be a good day. I can feel it. These are optimistic statements about your mood and your expectations for the day. Let's talk about music and media in the morning. Some people listen to music while getting ready. I'm going to put on some music, or what should we listen to, or turn up the volume. If someone's playing music too loud, you might say, can you turn that down? Or that's too loud this early. Some people listen to podcasts or the news. I'm listening to this podcast, or let me check the news, or did you hear what happened? These are ways to talk about consuming media in the morning. And some people like quiet mornings. Can we have some quiet, please? or I need silence in the morning, or do we have to have the TV on? These are requests for a calmer, quieter environment. All right, let's talk about clothing and getting dressed some more. Where's my other sock? This is a classic morning frustration. Everyone's lost a sock. Where do they go? It's one of life's great mysteries. And you might say, has anyone seen my black sock? Or I can only find one sock. Or I give up, I'm wearing mismatched socks today. What goes with this? That's a question about matching clothes. Like, you're holding a shirt and you're trying to figure out what pants to wear with it. What goes with this? Or does this match? Or do these colors look okay together? These are normal questions when you're trying to put an outfit together. This is wrinkled, or I need to iron this, or where's the iron? These come up when your clothes aren't quite ready to wear. Or you might say, I'll just wear something else, or it's fine, no one will notice. Is this clean? That's a question you might ask about a piece of clothing when you're not sure if it's been washed. Is this clean or dirty? Or did I wear this already? Or I think this is okay for one more day. We've all been there, right? Let's talk about mirrors and appearance. Some more, how do I look? That's a common question when you want feedback on your appearance. And someone might say, you look good, or you look fine, or maybe try a different shirt. These are all possible responses. Do I look okay? Is the same kind of question. You're checking to make sure you look presentable, and you might get reassurance. You look great, or you look perfect, or you're fine, don't worry. My hair? That's a common complaint in the morning. Your hair isn't cooperating, it's not looking the way you want. My hair's a mess, or I'm having a bad hair day, or I can't do anything with my hair today. These express frustration with your hair. Let's talk about being late some more because it's such a common morning stress. We're going to miss the bus, or we're going to miss the train, or we're going to be stuck in traffic. These are worries about the consequences of being late. I should have left earlier, or why didn't I wake up on time? Or I knew I should have gotten up when my alarm first went off. These are regrets about the choices that led to being late. Can you drive faster? Or we need to hurry, or step on it. That last one, step on it, is slang for drive faster. It's casual and a little urgent. Now let's talk about last-minute things people remember. Oh, I forgot my lunch, or I need to grab my bag, or where did I put my work badge? These are those sudden realizations that you're forgetting something important. Did I lock the door? Or did I turn off the coffee maker? Or wait, did I close the garage? These are worries about whether you did something before leaving. Sometimes you're already in the car and you're trying to remember if you locked the door or turned something off. We need to go back, or I have to go back in, or hold on, I forgot something. These are what you say when you realize you need to return to the house for something. Let's talk about encouraging yourself or psyching yourself up. You can do this. That's something you might say to yourself when you're facing a challenging day. You've got this. You're ready. These are little self-affirmations. It's just one day, or I can handle this, or one step at a time. These are ways to make a daunting day feel more manageable. Coffee first, then we'll see. That's a funny one. That means I can't even think about the day until I have my coffee. Let me wake up first, or don't ask me to make decisions yet. These are all variations on the theme of needing time and coffee before. You can function. All right, let's talk about saying goodbye in the morning. We covered have a good day, but there are so many other ways to say goodbye. See you later, or see you tonight, or catch you later. These are all casual ways to say goodbye with the implication that you'll see each other again soon. Love you, or love you too, or I love you, have a good day. These are what you might say to family members or a romantic partner. It's affectionate and warm. Text me later, or call me when you get there, or let me know how it goes. These are ways to ask someone to stay in touch during the day. Don't forget your keys, or you have your wallet right, or did you get everything? These are last-minute reminders before someone leaves. Be good, or behave yourself, or stay out of trouble. These are playful, joking ways to say goodbye. You might say them with a smile to a friend or family member. knock 'em dead, or kill it today, or go get 'em. These are encouraging ways to send someone off, especially if they have something important to do. They're motivational and supportive. Let's talk about roommates or partners leaving at different times. If you're leaving first, you might say, "I'm heading out," or "I'm taking off," or "I'm out." And the other person might say, "Okay, see you later," or "Have a good one," or "I'll see you tonight." If they're leaving first and you're still home, you might say, "Bye," or "Have a great day," or "I'll be here when you get back." These acknowledge that they're leaving and you're staying. Now, let's talk about some specific morning scenarios that are maybe less common but still worth knowing. What if someone overslept? You might wake them up by saying, "Hey, you're late," or "You overslept," or "You need to wake up right now." There's urgency in your voice because they need to get up quickly. The person who overslept might say, "Oh no, what time is it?" Or "Why didn't my alarm go off?" Or "I can't believe I slept through my alarm." These are panic responses. What if something breaks or goes wrong in the morning? The toaster's broken, or the shower's not working, or we have no power. These are problems that need to be addressed. And someone might say, "I'll call someone to fix it," or "We'll have to deal with it later," or "Great, just what we need this morning." That last one is sarcastic, obviously. What if you're not feeling well in the morning? "I don't feel good," or "I think I'm getting sick," or "I have a headache." These are ways to express that you're not well. And someone might respond with, "Maybe you should stay home," or "Do you need medicine?" or "Let me get you some water." I might call in sick, or "I don't think I can go to work today," or "I need to lie down." These are statements about what you might do if you're not feeling well enough to go about your normal day. Let's talk about compliments on food. "This is good," or "This coffee is perfect," or "Thanks for making breakfast." These are nice things to say when someone's made you food or drink. It shows appreciation. "You're a lifesaver," or "I needed this," or "What would I do without you?" These are more effusive expressions of gratitude. They're a little more dramatic but still genuine. Now let's talk about disagreements or conflicts in the morning. Not everyone's in a good mood, and sometimes people snap at each other. "I don't want to talk about this right now," or "Can we not do this in the morning?" or "I don't have the energy for this." These are ways to defer a conflict because it's too early or you're too tired to deal with it. Or someone might be directly annoyed. "You're being really loud," or "Can you not?" or "I asked you to do that yesterday." These show irritation or frustration. The other person might apologize. "Sorry, I didn't mean to," or "My bad," or "Okay, I'll stop." Or they might get defensive. "I'm not being loud," or "I forgot," okay? Or "Why are you so cranky?" These are natural human responses to being called out on something. Let's talk about complimenting someone's cooking or breakfast making. "This is delicious," or "You make the best scrambled eggs," or "I love when you make breakfast." These are sweet, appreciative things to say. "You should open a restaurant," or "You're such a good cook," or "I'm spoiled." These are more exaggerated compliments, but they're still nice to hear. All right, we've covered so much ground here. Let's talk about a few more random but useful morning phrases. "I'll warm up the car," which means you're going to go start the car and turn on the heater so it's warm when everyone gets in. That's something you do in cold weather. "Did you check the weather?" or "What's the weather supposed to be like today?" These are practical questions about what to expect outside. "It's supposed to rain," or "It's going to be hot today," or "They're calling for snow." These are ways to report what the weather forecast says. You might want to bring an umbrella, or "You'll need a coat," or "Wear sunscreen." These are helpful suggestions based on the weather. "I'll scrape the ice off the windshield," or "I need to defrost the car," or "The car's covered in snow." These are things you say in winter when you have to deal with ice and snow on your car. Let's talk about neighbors or people you see in the morning. "Morning," or "Hey there," or "How's it going?" These are friendly greetings you might give to a neighbor you pass while leaving the house. You might make small talk. "Nice day, huh?" or "Crazy weather," or "How about this traffic lately?" These are just polite, surface-level topics to chat about briefly. Have a good one, or take care, or see you around. These are ways to end a brief encounter with a neighbor or acquaintance. Let's talk about public transportation again with more detail. The bus is coming, or there's the train, or we need to run. These are urgent statements when your transportation is arriving and you need to catch it. We made it, or that was close, or I thought we were going to miss it. These are relief statements after you've successfully caught your bus or train. Do you have your pass? Or I need to load money on my card. Or let me get my ticket out. These are practical things related to paying for public transportation. This bus is crowded, or there are no seats, or we'll have to stand. These are observations about conditions on public transportation. Let's talk about driving and traffic some more. Traffic's not bad today, or the roads are clear, or we're making good time. These are positive observations about traffic conditions. Or the opposite, traffic's terrible, or we're barely moving, or this is going to take forever. These express frustration with bad traffic. I'll take the highway, or let's take the side streets, or I know a shortcut. These are decisions about which route to take. Red light, or finally, it's green, or come on, change already. These are reactions to traffic lights. Let's talk about parking. I need to find parking, or there's never any parking, or I'm just going to park here. These are statements about the eternal struggle of finding parking. Is this spot okay? Or I think I'm too far from the curb, or am I too close to that car? These are questions about whether you've parked well. All right, I think we're coming up on the end here, but let me give you a few more expressions that are just really useful. Almost ready, or just a sec, or one more thing. These are ways to tell someone you're not quite ready to leave, but you will be soon. I'm ready when you are, or I'm all set, or let's go. These tell someone you're ready and waiting for them. After you, or go ahead, or ladies first. These are polite ways to let someone go before you, like through a door or down the stairs. Watch your step, or be careful, or hold the railing. These are safety reminders. Did you remember to, or don't forget to, or make sure you. These are reminder phrases you use to help someone remember something important. I'll see you later, or text me, or have a great day at work. These are final send-off phrases as someone leaves. And finally, let's talk about that feeling when you're finally in the car, or on the bus, or wherever you're going, and you can relax for a second. Okay, we made it, or we're good, or all right, now I can breathe. These express relief that the morning rush is over. I need to just sit for a minute, or let me just close my eyes for a second, or this is the first moment I've had to think. These show that you're finally getting a little break after a hectic morning. And then you might start thinking about the day ahead. Okay, so today I have to, or let me think about what I need to do, or first thing when I get there I'll. These are you mentally preparing for your day. I hope today goes well, or I just want to get through today, or I'm actually looking forward to today. These are expressions of your attitude or feelings about the day ahead. So there you have it. We've covered so many morning sentences, phrases, expressions, and conversations. From the moment the alarm goes off to the moment you're finally on your way to wherever you need to go. All of these are real, natural, everyday English that native speakers use without even thinking about it. But now you're thinking about it. Now you know these phrases. Now you can recognize them when you hear them and use them yourself. The beautiful thing about this kind of everyday English is that it's not complicated. It's not fancy. It's just real communication between real people doing real-life things. And that's what makes it so valuable to learn. Because when you can have these natural morning conversations, when you can understand and use these everyday phrases, you're not just speaking English anymore. You're living in English. You're connecting with English speakers in a genuine, authentic way. So I encourage you to think about your own morning routine and imagine what you would say in English during each part of it. Practice these phrases out loud. Use them in conversations if you get the chance. And most importantly, listen for them. When you're watching TV shows or movies, when you're listening to podcasts, when you're around English speakers, listen for these morning phrases. You'll start hearing them everywhere because they're so common, and the more you hear them, the more natural they'll become for you. Mornings are hard enough without having to worry about whether you're saying the right thing in English, so let these phrases become second nature. Let them roll off your tongue as easily as they do for native speakers. And pretty soon, you'll be navigating your mornings in English with confidence and ease. Thanks so much for listening today. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned some new phrases or at least got more comfortable with the ones you already knew. Have a great rest of your day whenever you're listening to this. And remember, every morning is a new chance to practice, to improve, to get a little bit better at English. So wake up tomorrow and try using some of these phrases. See how it feels. See how people respond. And most importantly, enjoy the process of learning and growing. All right, that's all from me. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.